started. Get this party started on a Saturday night. Everybody's waiting for me to arrive. Sending out the message to all of my friends. We'll be looking flashy in our Mercedes-Benz. I got lots of style, check my gold diamond ring. I can go for miles if you know what I mean. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, I'm coming up. Coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, pumping up the body, breaking down to the beat. Cruising through the west side, we'll be checking the scene. Full of artists, freaking as I'm coming up fast. You'll be learning rubber, but you're kissing my glass. Pull up to the bumper, get out of the car. License plate system and #1 superstar. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. I'm coming up, I'm coming up. I'm coming up, so you better get this party started. This party started. Get the party started. Get the party started. Get the party started right now.
I say, who is the awardee for the Philip Nicholson Prize? I wanted to thank, seriously, the co-opted judges, as well as Duncan Jackson from Hidden Nuclear. I want to thank also Gia Red from Aurora, Claire Chappell from Freeman Hospital, and Derek Ford from Magnox. Sorry, I don't know where you seated, so thank you very much for helping on the panels. Thank you very much for all the posters. I was a bit daunted by the number of entries this year. We were hoping like an easy job, and it wasn't. But I'm delighted to say we've been really impressed. And I don't have all the names of the awardees. I will just say it's the ONR team, poster number 4. And I think we have Susan and somebody else here to receive the award. Sorry, I haven't got all the names. It's just blank sheets I just made up. Introducing Susan, sorry. Actually, all the names are on the certificate. So it's Patrick, Stephen, Elaine Natress, Susan McCready, sorry, I said there was a Susan, Stuart Johnson and Nina Barnes for the best poster as the Philip Nicholson Prize. So that's the certificate.
Thank you very much for this, and thank you to the SRP for inviting me to present the poster. Delighted to do it, and I'm sure myself and my co-authors will be happy to take the award away. Thank you very much.
The next award this evening is for the Rising Generations Group Award, and if I could ask Jennifer Humphreys to come and join me on the stage, who will present the award.
Hello. I'm very happy to be able to announce the winner of the RGG presentation prize. Beforehand, I'd just like to thank all the participants for taking part and the judges for their hard work in scoring all the entries. So, the winner of the RGG presentation prize 2013 is Nikki Kay from AWE.
The third award is the Jack Martin Award, and if I could just invite Ludovic to come and present the award for the second time this evening.
Sorry, me again. So, the winner for the Jack Martin Award for Best Presentation today, we decided to award it to Mr. Mike Wood. After numerous deliberation, we felt it was really well deserved. We nearly almost considered having to offer a second award, but we didn't, and obviously, but we nearly did. I won't explain why not, but if Mr. Mike Wood wants to come and receive his prize, medal and cheque, we are really delighted by the quality of the presentation and all the nice technical content we've seen. I won't say more, but please Mike, come here and have enough of being on the centre stage. Already? Okay, next time then, we'll see him. Keep it safe.
The fourth award this evening, if I could ask Dr. Peter Cole to come and join me on the stage. This is for the UK Young Professionals Award.
Evening, everybody. Hey, you all having a nice time? Good. I just wanted to say just a few little words about the UK Young Professionals Award just before I announce the winner. This is the first time we've run it, this time in Harrogate. And during its birth, the UK Young Professionals Award was known as the Rising Radiation Protection Professionals Award, or R2P2. Now, I won't go into the reasons why it was called that. They're very, very convoluted, and they're sort of irrelevant now. But from now on, and for perpetuity, I hope that it's going to be called, it will be called, the UK Young Professionals Award. And that leads me on to say why I think this new award is somewhat different to some of the other ones, the SRP award. It's open to young professionals from any of the UK partner societies. And as such, I hope it's inclusive of all radiation protection sectors in the UK. Secondly, it's been established to mirror and thus dovetail into the young professional competitions run by ERPA at its international congresses. In other words, it has the same format, the same scoring, judging, and the same rules. So as well as receiving a rather nice financial prize, the winner will be nominated to represent the UK at the next ERPA Young Professionals Award. And so the winner announced in the next minute or two, 5 minutes or 10, will be put forward to represent the UK at the International Young Professionals Award at the 4th European ERPA Congress in Geneva in 2014. In this, its first year, we had an overwhelming response with 14 entries. This meant we had to have a first round of judging to select just 10 to give their 8-minute presentations this morning. And just at this moment, I'd just like to thank my fellow judges. Thank you for all your help, and thank you for making the judging such a pleasant process. I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank all 14 entrants. Their support for this, the UK Young Professionals Award, has been invaluable in making it a complete success and ensuring its survival for the benefit of young professionals in the forthcoming years. I truly believe that the UK Young Professionals Award is a marvellous new mechanism to encourage, support and promote young UK radiation protection professionals. And in doing so, it links into a number of key areas within the SRP's new 2013 strategic plan. Moreover, it's a wonderful way to promote British radiation protection. And I'm very proud to be associated with it. We have actually placed the top 3. The reason we've done this is just in case the winner, for some reason, can't go to Geneva to represent the UK, and we have to fall back on number 2 or number 3. So I'll tell you that the second runner-up, who unfortunately doesn't receive any prize, apart from the kudos of knowing that they were, I'm not allowed to say 3rd place, the second runner-up was Chris Jones from AWA. The first runner-up was Eva Jagina from Newcastle upon Tyne NHS Trust. Unfortunately, Eva can't be here tonight. But the winner of the first ever UK Young Professionals Award and the person going to Geneva to represent the UK is Emma O'Mara from Babcock Marine in Devonport.
there. Unfortunately for some, this might be the third time that I speak to you guys today. I just wanted to say a really short thank you for your support, because I really believe in this award, and as a young member it's really nice to speak to a friendly audience, and your support in this has been really appreciated, so thank you very much.
I can ask now John Broughton to come and join me to present the next award. Ladies and gentlemen, pray silence for Mr. John Broughton, the immediate past president of the SRP.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At the start of my speech, I've been asked to state quite clearly that if you're betting on your table as to how long this speech will last, you don't start your stopwatches yet, because we're still in award mode. We have a Founders Medal to award, and that pleasure has fallen to me. The recipient is Bob Kerr. And as many of you know, Bob is, at this moment, somewhere on Mount Everest. So he can't be with us tonight, but Pete Cole is going to read his citation. Pete, wherever you are.
Oh yeah. There aren't many certificated RPAs in the UK, perhaps maybe 550. Most of them are probably here tonight. Few are still within that cohort have the bravery to run their own RPA consultancy business. So to combine this with being a mountain rescuer and a roughy-tufty explorer requires a remarkable character. Such a person is my colleague and my friend, Robert Kerr. With a first-class honours degree in chemistry with environmental chemistry from the University of Aberdeen, Bob began his RP career as a health physicist with the UK AEA in 1999, based at Dounreay. He added to his qualifications in 2002 with a postgraduate certificate in radioactive waste management and decommissioning, and went on to become a certificated RPA at Dounreay in 2005. In 2006, Bob moved to the Safety and Ecology Corporation, where he continued to work as an RPA and got involved with some interesting projects such as the remediation of Christmas Island in the Central Pacific, before setting up his own RPA and RWA consultancy business, RP Alba Limited, in 2011. Bob joined SRP as an associate member in the year 2000 and became MSRP in 2006. He became coordinator of the SRP Scottish Regional Group in 2009 and was instrumental in running 2 conferences, one in 2010 and another in 2011, and he has a third one planned for the near future. In 2012, Bob played a crucial role in organising the fantastic schools event at URBA 13 in Glasgow. In addition to his numerous radiation protection achievements, Bob is active in the Mountain Rescue Service and is an intrepid explorer. Last year, he completed the Three Peaks Challenge, but I've been told to point out not quite as quickly as our immediate past president. In 1969. And as 2012 drew to a close, I received a New Year's Eve text message from Bob as he was exploring darkest Ecuador, as you do. As John has just said, at this very moment, Bob's on Mount Everest, where he's been taking some cosmic ray measurements and topping up on his suntan, and also raising lots of money for various charities, including the SRP Benevolent Fund. It's with some sadness that I have to say that Bob got very, very close to the top of Mount Everest, but on medical reasons, the doctors in the team have had to advise him to turn back due to problems with his eyes. But I think you'll all agree with me that he's done the most fantastic of jobs. Finally, if all this wasn't enough, Bob's busy planning his forthcoming wedding to Sarah. And so it gives me great pleasure to say that for services to the SRP and to radiation protection in general, a Founders Medal in 2013 is awarded to Robert Kerr. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. And I'm quite sad that Bob hasn't made it to the top of Everest. It was his lifetime ambition. Perhaps you'd just like to give Bob a standing ovation. It was great effort. Bob was having a charity collection on justgiving.com for the SRP Benevolent Fund, the Assynt Mountain Rescue Team and Alzheimer's Disease International. And you can get that information from the SRP stand if you wish to donate. I have a little surprise for somebody now. The Honours Nomination Committee, who recommend honours, including the Founders Medal to the President, have said that in recognition of this particular anniversary and all the pioneering work done by our founders, four of whom are here tonight, as you know, it would be a delightful gesture if we were to award a Founders Medal to one of their members. There is one founder member who is still very active within the society and who has served and still serves the society extremely loyally in all sorts of ways. Somebody who is a great source of society knowledge and wisdom, and that, as you might have already guessed, is Bernard James. So we agreed to award, as a token of esteem to our founders, a Founders Medal to Bernard. Now, someone joked that giving Bernard a Founders Medal, which is normally awarded to up-and-coming young members, was a bit like giving Bradley Wiggins a cycling proficiency certificate. and whilst we accept that the Founders Medal is normally awarded to people relatively early in their careers, it is open to all, and it is awarded to members of the profession who have made significant contributions to radiological protection. And Bernard has certainly met that requirement. And I would like him to come and receive the medal as a token of our appreciation to our founder members, without whose vision we wouldn't be sitting here tonight. And I call upon John Jackson to deliver his citation.
Well, thank you, John, and good evening to you all. You'll have noticed that this wasn't on your menu this evening, so if it's come as a surprise to you, that's as nothing compared with the surprise which Bernard had just a few minutes ago. And I know it gave John huge pleasure in doing it, yes, getting the knife in a bit. Bernard is also to receive a Founders Award, and that is totally fitting, as he is now a rare survivor of what is a fast disappearing band of people who met at lecture theatre at Imperial College those 50 years ago. How was it Bernard came to be there? Well, it's actually easier to work out how he couldn't possibly not have been there. For at the time he was at Harwell, he cut his teeth on Windscale a few years before, and he was in the company of the likes of Greg Marley and Brian Lister, and more than likely John Dempster and Walter Langmead, which looking back is pretty illustrious company. And you can imagine that one of them would have said to him, "James, lad, get fell in. You could come into this meeting with us." He had no option. Well, suffice it to say that Greg Marley and Brian Lister, respectively, came away from that meeting as Foundation President and Foundation Secretary, respectively. So there really was very little chance that Bernard was going to get away with no involvement in the society. And so it was that 3 years later he found himself on the committee drawing up the society's bylaws, an absolutely crucial role in those early days. And it's fair to say that that committee did an absolutely outstanding job. The bylaws that they produced stood the test of times exceptionally well, and many of them found their way into the present bylaws and regulations associated with the Charter. Now, he served in that committee until 1970, when perhaps coincidentally he left Harwell and joined the Ministry of Defence at Alverstoke at the Institute of Naval Medicine, which is where our paths first crossed. Perhaps he thought he'd escaped the clutches of those aforementioned illustrious gents. But now he found himself within earshot of the likes of Bill Saxby and John Lakey. There really was no escape. But then, so there shouldn't be for a man of such good quality and calibre. Naturally, I don't think he wanted to. He served on council from 1975 until 1981, and was president between 79 and 80. Since then, he has become, well, he has been an almost fixed asset on the membership committee, of which he is currently chairman. In between times, he served on the National Vocational Qualifications Working Party and chaired the working group on training and qualifications, and produced a seminal report which Jeff referred to earlier. Like so many others of that band of founder members who we do well to honour today, his approach towards the society is typified by his offer to help. In his words, and I heard them myself, "You only have to ask." So he is a member of 50 years standing and is still actively supporting society. He has been a consistent source of valued advice and wise counsel over all of those years, and always with the best interests of the society and of its members at heart. Now that is a magnificent and unrivaled record of service for which the Founders Award is truly warranted. And Mr. Past President, I am very pleased and exceptionally proud to present Bernard to you to receive it.
Okay, you can start your stopwatches. What do you think of it so far? Hope you've enjoyed your meal. Those who were in Glasgow for SRP might remember that we had a suite there with the SRP logo on it, and I wanted to do that again here, and I wanted to put it on the menu in tribute to our young ladies down at our administrative centre in Dartington Hall and call it the Dartington Tart. But for some reason I wasn't allowed to do that. We were just talking about Bob Kerr, and recently I had an email from Tessa about the history booklet, and tacked on the end of that, she said, just had a great birthday text from Bob, who is getting close to the summit. And at that time I was up to my neck in all sorts of emails about all sorts of things, and I just responded, oh dear, I didn't even know it was your birthday. I hope you're having a great day and being thoroughly pampered. And then I reread her email, great birthday text from Bob, and I was as an afterthought, what did you mean it was Bob's birthday? And quick as a flash, the answer came back, no, you numpty. She didn't actually say you numpty, but I've had enough emails from Tessa to be able to read between the lines. She said, no, it's SRP's birthday, which of course it was. It was the 8th of May, our 50th anniversary, but I'd been thinking of it as an anniversary rather than a birthday. And that's my excuse, but I couldn't stop chuckling about it for ages that I'd overlooked the obvious. And I've had a few embarrassing moments like that this year, and some before this year too, some of which I can tell you about, some of which I can't. One, I was sharing a train and tube from Newark, where I live, to King's Cross and London Bridge tube station with Cathy Griffiths. We were walking alongside the Thames after we disembarked from the tube on our way to a meeting of the International Committee. And knowing Cathy had recently retired, I was telling something I'd just discovered. And I said, if you take your senior rail card to an underground ticket office and register it against your Oyster card, you can get a third off your tube travel as well. To which Cathy replied, somewhat embarrassingly for me, I'm not old enough for a senior rail card. Aren't these new developments on the South Bank quite stunning, I said. A few years ago, when I was Secretary of the Events Committee, we had our AGM in Nottingham, not far from where my wife Chris and I live, and Chris came to the dinner, her first, and afterwards she said to me, would you ever be asked to be president of this society? And I just laughed and said, no, maybe once when I was working, but having been retired for 10 years, no chance. And I'd never given it a thought, and I'd no ambition really in that direction. So a few months later, when I was asked to become president-elect, you could have knocked me over with a feather. Just about as I was due to leave council and relax a little, I was faced with quite a difficult decision. Thank you. Is that a 5-minute warning? But I could hardly say no. It's such an honour to be asked to be president. And I said at the time, it's a bit like being asked to be Pope. You can't really turn it down. But I did say at the time that popes don't have previous popes hanging around to bend their ears. or maybe give them support, as some past presidents have done. Well, they didn't until the Catholic Church recently took a leaf out of our book and changed their policy. So I became president-elect, and it was about that time that I was introducing Chris, my wife, to Jack Valentine, another senior moment. ICR publications had been my Bible for decades, but I was still a bit in awe of this great man, Jack Valentine, and I said to Chris that Jack had been scientific secretary to the and as I hesitated slightly, with that famous twinkle in his eye, he said, now which of those two organisations is it? is it the ICRP or is it the IAEA? And I don't know how he did it, but like a stage hypnotist, he fed the wrong words into my mouth. IAEA, I said, knowing damn well as I said it, that I was wrong and I just wanted the floor to open up and swallow me up. But such is life. Yes, I've had a few of those moments, haven't I, John Croft? Asked recently at a strategic planning meeting, just a couple of months back, who this year's honorary fellows were going to be. I said, Kenny Alice Roberts, Clive Williams, and I can't immediately recall the third, to which John Croft, who was sitting 2 seats away from me, said, thank you very much, John. Whereupon I dug myself into an even deeper hole, trying to excuse my gaffe, but I won't tell you about that bit. When I was wondering what to talk about tonight, I thought, I know, I'll have the RGG, our Rising Generation Group, our Young Persons Society, I'll have the computer whiz kids hack into the Dartington computers to see what subject is most researched there. And I'll talk about that. In third place was chocolate. But in equal first places were sex and alcohol. So they're going to be the main theme of my talk tonight. Now, I'm not the most politically correct guy in the world, so if I do upset anyone tonight, well, I don't really care. The alcohol part of my theme will be just a few toasts. I was on a mission not long after Chernobyl, to Smolensk power station in Russia, an identical design to Chernobyl. And in the evenings, all of their dinners were peppered with loads of toasts. So I thought, well, I'll borrow from that tradition and throw in a few as I go along tonight. So just make sure your glasses are well charged. Another almost embarrassing moment, but not quite embarrassing, well, not for me, but maybe for somebody else. I was writing the President's review for this year's annual report, which some of you may have read, and I was saying what a superb job Alan Marsh had done for the Society in his years as Honorary Secretary. But he was now standing down, and Amber Bannon would be succeeding him. I wrote, and I'll read what I said, what I typed. I was sitting there at my computer typing this. I said, I'd like to say a special thank you to Alan Marsh, who is standing down from his role as Honorary Secretary. Alan has undertaken great service for the Society, and our good wishes for the future go with him. Amber Bannon, who succeeds him, has big boots to fill. Unfortunately, I didn't type boots, I typed something quite similar. And I don't know why I did that. I've no idea at all. But fortunately, I spotted it just before I pressed the send button. I said I'd embarrass you, Amber, yeah. I've enjoyed my year as President. It's been a great honour and privilege, but it's been extremely busy for me, and my wife's been exceedingly understanding about all the little jobs which haven't been done around the house because I've been too busy on SRP stuff. I think that's going to come to fruition next week when all these little job cards come back onto my desk. A lot of men say that when they die, they're going to leave everything to their wives. Well, I've beaten them to it. I already leave everything to my wife. So she's really carried me through this year. So thanks, Chris, for being so tolerant and understanding. And I'll promise to do better this year if Peter doesn't load me too heavily. And while I'm thanking people, can I just briefly thank Council, who've supported me most of the time and made our meetings enjoyable. No, more than that, they've made them really enjoyable. And I'd like to thank particularly Peter Marsden and Chris Englefield as President-elect and immediate past President, who've been great sounding boards for me. And I'd like to congratulate Peter once again on his inauguration as president. I think he'll be a great president. I also think he's got a bit of a shock coming. When I look at council, I often think they're a bit like some of Bernard's statistics. They're all broken down by age and sex. No, not you, Albert. No. No, the age thing doesn't apply to you. we got... The girls at Dartington have done an amazing job behind the scenes. Most of you will not realise the work that goes on behind the scenes to put a function like this together. And Tessa's resisted being on one of our top tables for years, but I finally persuaded her to join us there tonight. She's a linchpin for our organisation. I'm glad she's with us, and whenever you see her, she always has a smile on her face. So a personal thank you from me, Tessa. I used the President's privilege earlier, and I asked Tessa for a list of all the members for whom she's ever booked a double room for them and someone other than their partner. I'm surprised she's on the list. Not Tessa, someone I was looking at. No, actually, there isn't a list, but I've now got your undivided attention again. Tessa wouldn't give me the list. She said she's keeping it for her book. The one she intends to write about half a century of sexual shenanigans in a radiological society. It's a sequel to another well-known book that I mentioned yesterday, and it's going to be called 50 Shady Years of Greys, Sieverts and Becquerels. Unity has some news for us too. She's passed her driving test. And I was going to make a joke about blonde women motorists. But she threatened to cut off my alcohol intake, so I've chickened out. And what about Sue? Sue really enjoys these functions. They don't let her out very much. But Sue's really helpful, and if you need something doing and she's busy, well, to jump the queue, chocolate helps. So if she's the one Googling the chocolate, the three of them are superb sports, and they're really like a family of swans. They're outwardly serene and graceful, but they're generally paddling away like mad beneath the surface. So, quick toast to Tessa and her team. I'd also like to thank all of the committees for the selfless work that they do. There are too many names to mention personally, but I would just like to pick out a couple, and that's somebody I've already mentioned, John Croft, and another good friend of mine, Sheila Liddell, who personally I think do an absolutely superb job supporting this society in all sorts of ways. They figure on a number of committees, and they both do an enormous amount of work behind the scenes, as they have done for years, making sure we get the basics right. So thank you particularly to you too. And there's someone else who's burst onto the scene in recent years and put a lot of energy into the society, and that's the larger-than-life Pete Cole. Pete spearheaded the school's event yesterday, and not just yesterday, he's been organising it for months, and the hard work just came to fruition yesterday. And of course, Pete's now our president-elect. And I have a very small present for Pete, a personal present, which I'd just like to give him. I'll give it to you on the way back, Pete, but it's just my personal way of saying thank you very much for the enthusiasm and energy you brought to the organisation. It's very difficult in this organisation trying to keep everyone satisfied all the time, and that's not back to the sexual thing again. But we have so many diverse occupations that it's difficult trying to stay on everyone's wavelength. They've all got different thought processes. For instance, if we were to ask all of our delegates to name a part of the body that's an anagram of the letters P, N, S, I and E, that works most effectively when erect, all of our medical colleagues would immediately shout out spine. And all of the nuclear guys would wonder why they hadn't thought of that. But I think we're evolving into a really well-developed and more integrated society, and all the committees, all volunteers are working really, really hard, and I thank them for their support this year too. Another quick toast to our committees. I'm going to be falling over by the end of the speech. When I first started working for the society, I was with the events committee, and one day I stood in for Tessa, who couldn't attend one of our events, on the reception desk. And I think it was at the Society of Chemical Industry. And some of you may have heard this story before, because I think Kathy Griffiths told it a few years ago. So if you have heard it before, I apologise. But I'd arrived early and set up the desk, and only one or two delegates had arrived, when this really young, attractive woman, well, early 30s, beautifully dressed, extremely elegant, sashayed her way very confidently to the desk, looked me up and down, smiled sweetly, and said, "Sexual dysfunction?" And I said, "What, me? No. And she said, "Well, where is it then?" Where's what? And she said, "Where's the sexual dysfunction conference?" Obviously enjoying my discomfort. I hadn't a clue that there was another conference even going on in the building. So I said, I think it must be that desk over there. So she smiled again very sweetly and wiggled her way out of sight. And quite honestly, I can't remember what our conference was about, but I can remember what hers was about. Was it? Oh, well, thank you, Kathy. My mind was obviously on other things. And no, I didn't have a problem. Well, not until then, I didn't. But I think I'm the oldest president ever. There are obviously past presidents who are older than me, but I think I was probably the oldest ever in office. Tessa won't confirm that, but I think that kind of does confirm it for me. I was 70 last month, and I was hoping, beyond hope I suppose, that one of the Dartington ladies might do a Marilyn Monroe impression for me and leap out of a cape and sing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President." It came close. They've obviously got a similar thought process to me, because actually they sent me a card with a copy, with a photograph of Marilyn Monroe on it. And it did say, inside, it said, "Happy Birthday, Mr. President." assigned the Dartington Tarts because they knew about the menu. At that sort of age, the age does start to take its toll of you, but some people of my age group still manage to engage in a little bit of hanky-panky nearly every day. Take me, for instance, last week, nearly on Monday, nearly on Tuesday, nearly on Wednesday. But all being well, Chris and I will celebrate our golden wedding next year, and we're still affectionate. When we go out shopping, I hold her hand, and that way she can't get a credit card back. And yes, we still do like a spot of the. Yeah, we like going to the sheepdog trials. We have 4 grandkids now who we absolutely adore, and they used to call me Grandad. But after I became president, they now call me Granddude. And kids come out with some cracking lines, don't they? And they ask so many questions. I've got a mate called Donkey. Don't ask. And he's got a young son who's about 12 or 13. And one day they've been in the chemist, and his son said to Donkey when they come out, he said, "Dad, you know we had that chat about, you know, and you told me all about being careful and all about that safe what's-it stuff." And Donkey said, yeah, I think I know what you're on about. And he said, "Well, I've just seen some of those protection thingies." He said, "And they come in different sizes." And Donkey said, "Do they?" And he said, "Yeah," he said, "you can buy packs with just one in, or you can buy packs with lots in." And he said, "Yeah, that's right, son." He said, "Why would you buy just one, Dad?" And he said, "Well, when you're young and you haven't got a girlfriend, if you're out with a crowd and you meet up with a girl and you get on really, really well," he said, "well, just let's say it's a good idea to have one in your pocket or your wallet." "Right, Dad," he said, "yeah, I can see that." And he said, why would you want to pack it with 6 in there, Dad?" He said, "Well, let's say you're a bit older and you have a steady girlfriend, but you only see her at weekends." He said, "Friday, Saturday, Sunday, night, morning." He said, "Get the drift?" "Oh, yeah, I think so, Dad." He said, "So why would you need a packet with 12 in, Dad?" And he said, "Well, son," he said, "that's really just for when you marry. January." I was in the pub the other night and I arranged to meet Donkey and some other guys, and he phoned to say he's going to be a bit late. And I'd got to leave. I'd promised Chris I'd be back early. I think it was sheepdog trials on the telly or something like that. And there was a new barman, and he said, well, I brought around and I'd left a pint in for Donkey, in the barrel for Donkey, and he said, the new barman said, "Oh, well, I know this Donkey guy." And I said, "Well, he's actually got a bit of a stutter." I didn't tell you that before, because it would have made the last joke a bit long. But after I'd left, Donkey came in and he said, "Hello, can I have a pint of best bitter, please?" And the barman said, "You must be Donkey." He said, "Your mate John was in a little while ago and he's left one in for you." And he said, "Thank you very much." So the barman's pulling the beer, and he said, "Tell me," he said, "why does he call you Donkey?" And he said, "I don't know." He said, he always calls me that." Oh dear. Right, I'm going to finish off with a final toast. I've already mentioned Tessa and the team and a few of the ladies who come to council. There's another couple of young ladies, one of whom you met tonight, Jennifer Hughes, who plays an important role there, and another who's just joined council, Harry Barnes, and we've a lot more women who work really hard for us on our committees. But here tonight, and in your homes, there are a lot more ladies who play a very important role in this society, and that's the wives and girlfriends of the very many committee members and delegates who allow their partners to indulge their involvement with the society. I mentioned my own wife, but there are, of course, many more in a similar situation, supporting their husbands and through them this society, and I'd like to thank all of those ladies collectively. There are a few husbands and boyfriends in the same situation, of course, but they don't look anything like as stunning as these ladies here tonight. And as I said, I'm not particularly politically correct, and I don't care if I upset them. Well, for the sake of this toast, I don't. So the ladies, our school's outreach working group are really starting to make things happen. And Peter Marsden recently coined a catchy slogan to make our science appear a bit trendier and more appealing to school kids. It's based on the old Geiger counter, and the slogan is radiation clicks. So gents, I'm going to give you a similar toast to these wonderful ladies in our lives, to the radiation chicks. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, pray silence for Mr. Bernard James, a past president, an honorary fellow, and a founder member of the Society of Radiological Protection. Bernard, if I could ask you to come and join me on the stage, sir.
Firstly, I would very much like to thank the Society for the singular honour of presenting me with the Founders Medal, Founders Prize. It was as welcome as it was unexpected. Thank you very much again, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. President, Council, honoured guests, members, ladies and gentlemen. On the 8th of May, '63, when we 33 health physicists met in a lecture theatre at Imperial College for the founding meeting of the Society, we could not have foreseen the success that it was to achieve over the next 50 years. I had the privilege of being president in the Society's formative years, and I've been active in the Society since that time. Over the past 50 years, therefore, I've been able to observe the Society's progress at close hand. From Learned Society with its programme of meetings, workshops and seminars, to a role of influence, to the granting of the Royal Charter, to its present position as the leading radiological protection society in the United Kingdom with international recognition. I'm confident that over the next 50 years, the Society will build on its success and achieve much more. I'm honoured to propose the toast of the Society. The toast is the continuing success of the Society of Radiological Protection. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you all to rise and join me in the toast. To the Society.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, pray silence for the President, Professor Peter Marsden.
John, you can't match that. That was brilliant. Well done. John, don't sit down. We're almost done. I just want to make sure that all of you got handed a check source earlier. Please don't eat it. Just sort of toss it in the river. It's just a way of getting rid of our sources. Just one more thing to do. Tessa, Unity, Sue, please come up here. John, please. Where's Pete Cole? Does anyone know where Pete Cole is? Well, that's a shame. I'll buy a little bit of time by telling you that once we've just done this, it's done. And, well, the formal bit of it is done. I want you to stay and enjoy yourselves. We have the T-Tones back, giving us some songs for a little while. There is a bar, which will be open until 1, I believe. But because we didn't put the subs up, you're going to have to pay for the drinks yourselves. Okay. Then I will just do my last little bit, which is I can just add my thanks to those that have gone before, which are richly deserved for you. I've begun to glimpse what a lot of you will perhaps never see is what goes on behind the scenes, not just on an event like this, but throughout the year. And to say thank you to 3 of you who've got a small present. It really is small, so don't get excited. Oh, it's you, John. Well done. You were having
I don't normally do this, I like being behind the scenes, but I just wanted to say a few words. Thank you very much for our presence. SRP is a very, very special society, and as I think you probably know, we really enjoy working with you and for you. A big thank you to my team, Unity and Sue, and to our very understanding families. I've pretty much completed 2 decades now, and one of my roles is to take the minutes at council. I've been there for all the key moments, but I was once also the bearer of very bad tidings. I wonder how many of you have ever wondered why the Society website address isn't www.srp.org.uk, instead of what we actually have of www.srp-uk.org. It was in 1997 that I had to break the sad news to council that the Society of Recorder Players got there first. Enjoy your evening.
You took a mystery and made me want it. You got a pedestal and put me on it. You make me love you when I'm feeling nothing. Something that you do. Oh, and I was there and planning of everyone. You took a mark and made me over. Going round and going again, and I'm crying, anything you do, but I'm in the middle of a chain reaction. You give me all the after midnight action. I wanna get you where I can let you make love all night to me. We talk about love, love, love. We talk about love. We talk about love, love, love. We talk about love. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You make me tremble when your hand moves lower. It takes a little bit of swallow slower. Nature has a way of yielding treasure. Pleasure made for you. Oh, and when we go, your future is on the right. And when we go and round once more now, you go and then we'll say it's right again. I am trying anything but you, and we're in the middle of a chain reaction. We always go around the midnight action. And when we're going round once and then we go trying anything around you. We're in the middle of a chain reaction. We're going round and when we midnight action. That's when we go again, once again. Talk about love, love, love. Talk about love. We talk about love, love, love. We talk about love. Thank you very much indeed. We would just like to add that we hope you've had a fantastic evening, and maybe we could lead you in singing Happy Birthday to the Society. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Bum banana bum, banana bum. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy